Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's something serious. Where my girls at? We link up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to We Got Issues. It's Monday. It's good to see everybody here on today. It's Gloria and I on today. Those of you who know, Sabrina is traveling with her family, having a great time with some sun and some water. And, you know, wherever she goes, there's going to be some flowers. So hopefully you guys are following the Goodwin Monday family as they have traveled. I believe they're in, I don't think it's Cabo. It's one of those islands. I don't know if it might be St. Croix. But I do know that I've seen some of the pictures and they look like they're having an amazing time. So it is Monday. It is Monday. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Gloria and I, Sabrina's not with us. Caterina's not with us today. So we're going to try to handle it all. But we are going to be talking about narcissistic relationships. And I'm sure that you guys maybe know a little bit about it, or some of you may have been in a relationship with a narcissistic person or have family members or whatever. So this is going to be a topic that literally it needs to be had, because there's so many women that suffer, you know, at the hands of narcissistic individuals. And that's not to say that there aren't women who are narcissistic, because there are. But a lot of times when it comes to relationship, you know, most of the times we know from the standpoint of the woman who is going through something like that. So, you know, maybe you have some insight. Maybe you've had a girlfriend, a relative, or maybe yourself were involved in something like that. So we absolutely would love for you to give us a call and let us know, you know, how you handled it, how long you were in it. Maybe you're still in it, or maybe you know somebody that's still in it. So call us at 313-778-7600. Don't be shy. I want to hear your voice. Want to hear your voice.
Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Here we go. Here we go. Independent, free spirit. Yes. Applause for Monday. Welcome to We Got Issues. It is Monday and we are so excited to be with you guys. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing when we're with you every single day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. at 9:10 a.m. the Superstation-WFDF out of Detroit, but feeding the entire international world. We're so excited. And to our fans on Facebook and to our fans all over that might be listening on iHeartRadio, we absolutely love being with you. So we're so excited. We're here not to be positive, powerful, but not Pollyanna. And so we're so excited to have a show with you. Okay, let's just be clear. Number one, Sabrina Goodwin on a Monday is living her best life. She's living her best life. She's down in St. Croix with her family. She's on vacation, talking about, I gotta move. Right. She's on vacation, having her best life, and we will miss her. Yes, Michael, give her applause. And Caterina is not here with us in this moment, although she might be calling in as soon as she can. So we're so excited to hold down the show. This must be the yellow show, okay? I got on yellow, Crisette got on yellow, and we're talking about a lot of things, you guys. We're talking about a lot of things, but I want you to get ready. Because we are going to be talking about narcissism, and it is all about people, narcissism, disorder, relationships, what it means, how hard it is, what's the truth, tell your story, real stories from real women. Oh my gosh. I had no idea how prevalent it was. I had no idea what the issues were until I was way as an adult. And I dealt with it and didn't even know that I was dealing with it. So this is going to be an awesome show. So listen, let me invite you guys all. Let me invite you all. Is your phone already in your hand? Is your phone in your hand? Because we want you to call in with 313-778-7600. We want you to be a caller. We want you to ask questions. We want you to tell your stories. We want to hear from you. We have some guests for sure. But before we go to our guests, who you know me, okay, I called them this afternoon and said, can you be our guest? Because I remember their stories and they were so kind enough to say yes. But before we do that, let's slip on up to Detroit. This is Gloria from the DMV, and we're going up to Crisette in Detroit. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Gloria. Hey, to our 9:10 a.m. Superstation family. We're excited. It is Monday, and it is a great day to be alive. There's so much that's going on, and I'm telling you, we are absolutely missing our girlfriends, Sabrina and Caterina. Now, Caterina's going to come on a little bit later, and as Gloria said, Sabrina's out living her best life, getting some sun by the water, sending us 101 pictures of flowers. You guys,
right.
Absolutely love flowers. But you know what? We're excited for her. That's wonderful to be able to get away, especially with so much going on in the world. And you know what? Hey, at some point, you got to just figure out how you can do it and how you can do it safely, because we know this new variant is raging all across
Talk about it, Chris.
country. It is raging all across the country. I mean, when you look at the map and you see all of these states that are turning red, and what I am noticing that I'm hearing a lot is that a lot of vaccinated people are starting to get the virus now. The good part of that is the fact that they aren't getting as sick as other people that are. Now, Gloria, you know, to the people that say, I'm just not going to get the vaccination, I don't trust it, and they want to point to the fact that vaccinated people some of them are getting infected and are getting sick. The thing that they fail to remember that we got to remind everybody is they never, ever said that the vaccine was 100% proof against. They never said it. It was always in the high 90s. So with anything, that's like when you take medicine and they give you all the things that could happen, they have to list every single adverse effect, even if it only happened to one person.
Right. And so, if on the commercial, it takes the commercial 3 extra minutes to go over all that stuff that you're going to die from if you take this pill to help your eyelashes stay on longer. Right.
Absolutely. So, you know, I was watching the news today and CNN, and they had Montel Williams that was on.
Right.
And he was talking about, did you see that?
Yes, he was
caught
fierce.
The virus, he got the virus, COVID, but he had been vaccinated. So he was really encouraging people. And he was saying, he said, listen, all I'm going to say is, had I not been vaccinated, I might not be talking to you today. He said, because I had some underlying issues. So you guys just, you know, we gotta sound the alarm. And we know that there are those who still don't want to take the vaccine. But again, we have to do our due diligence, and we have to say, hey, you got to be safe. You got to be safe. And so that's kind of like the vaccine information. But the great news is Simone Biles. Come on, girl, Simone Biles.
Let's talk about Simone. Let's talk about Simone. Let's talk about how excited we are just to hear her name in that positive light. I don't know what she does. I don't care what she does. All she has to do is walk out there under the spotlight and let me just see your right armpit, your left armpit. Just let me see you wave. Just let me see you wave. That'll make me so happy just to see you wave. Just get on the spotlight, smile a little bit, and do another Visa commercial. I'd be excited. So excited.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. When I tell you, when we got the word that tonight, I mean, literally, if I have to take some toothpicks and put them in my eyes, I am going to stay up. I don't know what time. I'm going to look to see what time, but she is going to go on the balancing beam. And I was like, of all the things to come back
I know.
You know,
Of
I
all
was
the
like,
things.
you can't do
I
the
know.
floor. You can't do what's the other thing that they, I was like, the balancing beam. My heart started fluttering some because to me, they said, like you said, if you take your cell phone, this is almost the width of that beam. So we're praying for her.
But it is one of her best apparatus. It's better than the balancing. It's better than the uneven bars. So I'm excited for her for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm always so nervous when I watch all of them get on that. But you know what? I think she's had enough time, and we are sending her prayers and thoughts and love. And I'm believing, I'm putting it out there that she's going to take away a gold.
Yes,
come on, Simone.
it's her turn. It's her turn. It's her turn.
For real.
It is. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And, we're going to get to our topic. But before we come on, Chris, just give us a taste of tomorrow's show. Just give us a taste about tomorrow's show. Just a taste.
When I tell you guys yesterday, okay, so let me back up. So, probably close to almost a year ago, Chuck and I had a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to fly to Atlanta to be on the set while Jennifer Hudson was making the movie Respect. So we were in the back and we was watching take after take. And I was like, you know what, just that hour or so that we were there watching her do that particular scene, and they do it over and over and over. It's like, that's why movie stars, actors and actresses get paid so much, is because just like models, it's a lot of work that goes into their craft. Sometimes they make it look so easy, but after a while, it's like, oh, I would get so tired of doing something over and over and over again. And so we had a chance to meet her, and she's such a warm, kind person. So I am totally 100 Jennifer Hudson. I am a fan. And so yesterday they did the premiere right here in Detroit at the Imagine Theater. They shut the theater down. So every single room was playing the movie Respect. And Gloria, when I tell you, that movie is absolutely, I believe it's going to win some awards. I believe that Jennifer should be up for Oscar, because I promise you, she acted her butt off. She was awesome. I was sitting in there, I need some tissue to cry. It was so good. So so
don't give everything, because tomorrow,
you guys, we are going to be talking everything Aretha, and I'm so excited. We're going to have her niece, Sabrina Lyles, her sister's daughter is going to be with us tomorrow.
Wow,
so I'm excited. Great. She is just an amazing woman in her own right. So we're going to talk to her, and hopefully she can give us some more insight into her aunt. And so it's going to be an exciting show. So we absolutely want you to join us tomorrow. So I'm going to send it back to you, Gloria.
Okay, you guys, I'm so very excited because we're getting ready to bring in two phenomenal women. So let's bring them into the show right now, because we're going to have a conversation with these two amazing, you guys, this is so amazing. Okay, welcome to the Force of Friendship, girlfriends. Welcome to the Force of Friendship. For real, we're so excited that you're here. You would come when we're missing two of our force, so now you're part of the force. You're part of the force, and you got a call from me at 2 o'clock today. So I appreciate it. You guys, I want to tell you first, I want to tell you a little bit about each one, and then I'm going to have them introduce themselves. So Andrea is my interior designer. So I know her very well. I mean, like, we've just like hung up. She's pushed me to places that I didn't know was possible to go. She's made my home beautiful. I mean, tore down walls, lifted up the kitchen, moved it to the left side, and then back to the right side, turned it upside down and everything. So I am so excited. But through that, when we first sat down, we had a great connection and a great conversation. Through Andrea, she introduced me to a gym. At the gym, I met Deanna. Did I say it right?
Deanna. You always say it wrong. Deanna. It's okay.
I say Andrea's name wrong. I always call her Andrea, and it ain't Andrea, it's Andrea. And then Deanna, I say it wrong all the time. But I met her, and you guys, seriously, right? In like our second conversation, maybe, we were having this conversation about narcissism. And what I loved about her was that she said, it needs to be loud. You don't know. people don't understand. And right off the bat, and I happen to know for a fact that people are uncomfortable talking about this subject, and they hold it to their heart as if they're responsible. And so I'm so excited that these two amazing women who are amazing in their own right are willing to be loud and tell their real story. And so I'm going to start with you, Andrea. Could you tell them a little bit about you and a little bit about your story?
Yes. So can you hear me okay? Okay, perfect. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much. You absolutely did a last minute call today or text, but I adore Gloria and any opportunity to be a part and support women. I mean, that's what it's all about. So yes. Hopefully this is not my feedback issue that I see.
No, you sound great.
Okay, perfect. So I have been in Maryland for 20 plus times. And I have dated, and I have definitely had the narcissistic relationship. And what's interesting is, you don't know that you're in that until you're out of it.
Isn't that interesting?
I remember hearing so many, oh, narcissist this, and I'm like, oh my God, who would be in that? And then all of a sudden you look back and you're like, oh, okay, I was in that. So I'm definitely all about truth and transparency and supporting women and telling my stories. And I'm so excited to be here tonight. So thank you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. But tell them a little bit about your business too. Just really quick, Andrea.
Okay, so I'm actually in my studio right now. I am Gloria's interior designer. We focus on renovations, remodeling, kitchen, baths, etc. And we're in Ellicott City. We are one of the first and only Black-owned businesses on Main Street. So I'm very proud of that. We've been in business for 20 years. We do work all over the U.S., including international. Got back from Paris, and we are going to be introducing some exciting things, antiques, making them sexy, Black, fabulous. And so I can't wait to launch that. And I'll have to, put some in Gloria's house so we can use her as a model.
Yes, you guys, and you got to follow both of them on their social media. I'm going to ask them to give that in a little while, but we're going to get both your social media. Both their social media are amazing. Deanna, tell them a little bit about you.
Hi, I'm Deanna Spence, and thank you, Gloria, for this opportunity. Listen, late text was fine because, when Gloria Mayfield Banks calls, you just go with it. So I'm at cheerleading practice, so forgive me for the distractions right now. But I'm a self-love coach, and mostly that came about because I was in narcissistic relationships. And again, like Andrea said, I had no idea what that was until I was out of it. I went through a lot of therapy, and I remember going into the therapist and saying, I think I'm crazy. And he said, why? And I said, because my husband keeps telling me one thing, and then he says another thing, and then he does another thing, and then he tells me I'm wrong, and I didn't hear I didn't hear him correctly, and I'm too sensitive, and that I'm lying, and that, it was just so weird. He was always telling me what I was doing wrong when it was really, he was manipulating me. And I mean, at one point I thought I was the ugliest woman on the planet, the worst mother on the planet. I didn't even like to look at myself in mirrors. I cried all the time. I was overweight. I was stressed out. And I was still doing everything I could to try to please this man who was never going to be pleased. And the biggest thing that I can say from people is that I had to learn how to really love myself and to create healthy boundaries. But it takes work to do. But narcissism is a real thing. It is a self-absorbed thing, and it's not your fault. And if anybody can take anything from that, please, it's not your fault. It's not you. And my therapist told me that it's not you.
Deanna, before we go to break, tell them a little about the self-love coaching piece, and then we're going to come back right after the break. But tell them a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. Well, coming from the background that I came from, father was an alcoholic, drug addict, mother wasn't in my life. So I didn't really value myself growing up. I was very insecure, all of that. So I got into these relationships with people that knew that, and they took advantage of that. And so when I was able to finally get out, because I always knew there was something more, there was something better, there was something bigger than me. When I start, and people say to you all the time, love yourself. You need to love yourself. What does that mean? What does that look like? How do I do that? Because as women, especially Black women, we're taught to nurture the world. Nurture everybody, love everybody, take care of everybody, take care of your kids, take care of your husband, take care. But no one ever says, wait a minute, what about you? What makes you happy? What do you want to do in life? So when you really learn how to value yourself, which takes, again, a lot of work, there's tears, there's anger, there's pain that comes out of everything. We go back to childhood trauma, which is a huge piece of it. What happened in your childhood that made you feel this way and made you, that you carried into adulthood? But learning to love yourself and to put yourself first is not selfish. It is not selfish.
I'm so excited about this conversation. I have wanted to have this topic in a minute. So we're excited. The chat is coming off and you guys are bringing something. We're going to go to break really quickly and then we're going to come back. We're going to do some education about what narcissism is, because the problem is you don't know about it until you're out of it. Absolutely. And we want you guys not even to get in it. So we're going to come right back to 9:10 a.m. the Superstation, as we got issues. For real, we got issues. Like, for real. We got issues. You got issues. We all got issues. We'll be back in just a second.
Wow, you guys. Off to a great start with our two guests, Deanna and Andrea. OMG. I mean, narcissism is truly a topic that, we need to have. It needs to be something, that is not a mystery to us. It can't be something that, we tiptoe around. I believe,
okay, great. I'll be right on.
When our
Thank
girls
you.
are growing up, mature enough,
okay,
15,
appreciate you.
16, because, narcissistic behaviors, I'm sure you can see, early on in relationships. I know one of the things I used to tell Kiera, I always told her this. I said, Kiera, whoever you're dating, these are some of the signs you need to watch out for. I said, if they say that they don't really like your friends or they find fault with your friends and they try to have you leave your friends, discard your friends, don't want you hanging out with your friends, that is a red flag. Okay, that's a red flag. I said, because many times, narcissistic individuals want to get you by themselves. So I told her, you know what? You've had your friends a lot longer than you have been dating this guy. So while you are absolutely getting to know that person, you still have to make sure that he understands you have to have time for your other relationships, your other friendships, because even when you do get married and you're in a different season, you still have friends. I'm married to Bishop Charles H. Ellis III, but I still have girlfriends. I have sisters. And he has never, ever, ever, ever told me I couldn't hang out with this person or I shouldn't hang out with that person. So, sometimes we see the red flags, but we think we can change them. And as Andrea said, we are nurturers. So sometimes we think we can fix the world. Well, you know what? When it comes to narcissistic individuals, you got to be so careful because they are very hard to fix. And so, if you have stories, type it in the chat. We absolutely want to hear from you. And if you have a story, call us today, 313-778-7600, because we really do want to hear your story, because someone's life may depend on it. And so that's why we love coming on with stories of real individuals, that you can hear and have them tell their story. So that's so important. And then one of the other things I always, told Kiera is, when they try to change you, I don't like your hair, and why do you wear braids, or why do you do this, or why do you do that? And it's like, you know what? He not married to you. You wear your hair. If you like it, wear it the way you like it. Okay. All right. We're coming back.
Okay, we're back. Where the girls at? Oh my gosh, this conversation, you guys, this conversation. We've got some callers that we're going to go to. But before we go to the callers, I want you guys to identify the fact that narcissism is a personality disorder. It is a personality disorder. And what you need to know is that narcissists overvalue themselves and devalue others. Narcissists victimize those around them just by being who they are, and they won't change. The best way to handle a narcissist is to distance oneself as soon as possible. Professional guidance can also help if that's available. But the most important thing you need to know is that it is a disorder that they don't even recognize, And we'll go a little bit into that as well. But before we do that, let's go to our callers. Marathon, are you there? He's our guy. Marathon, are you there? Welcome to We Got Issues. Are you still there, Marathon? Is Gary there? Gary, are you there with us?
Yes, Gary is here. Okay, Gary. I almost want to feel like, and I just got through preaching about this on my Facebook, Gary Hunter Facebook, about a covering, the coverer, and then the responsibility we owe to each other. And what we don't get, women, listen, if you don't have an understanding of what you are entitled to from God, and that man don't bring it to the table, I don't care what he does for you, how much money, what kind of car he got, the element of the covering, you can't yield to a man that's not yielding to God. Because see, y'all who go to church know what I'm talking about. The substance of good relationships is we look for the things in the world instead of the spirit that, let's go back to the word. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, everything will be added unto us. We deal with these people, and I can say it as a saved man, I confess. I dealt with somebody who had an attitude, who I suppressed all of what I knew better. Because and let me just give y'all a secret, women. Men see it as perfection, not your look, but we fail to look behind the personality. And we assume because you're pretty, long hair, you done made up, you done put blue eyes in, gold hair in, you done put hips and lips and everything on nowadays. But the real power, and hear me good on this, if you don't have, and I know we got this society, and most of us grew up, and I'm proud of you, Miss Ellis, you wear the marriage title so gracefully. You wear the obedience title, and I know you got Chucky, under control, but you wear it with such eloquence that I'm proud when I'm around people like you because you give us hope. And I want y'all to hear me on this. I'm quite sure she has her authority at home, but she knows how to be the lady and the woman and respectful to her husband. And we got this fight out here. Well, women will tell you they got to be in charge, can't keep a man. Somebody hear me good. And so you end up with somebody you think you're in charge with, and then he rebuttals because the nature in a man is not always narcissistic. It's just a nature in him to be in authority. Even if he does not deserve it. So Gary, the power.
So Gary, what you're talking about is a little different than what we're talking about, but I'm glad that you're bringing it to light. The reason I'm so glad that you're bringing it to light is because what you're talking about is not necessarily a narcissistic person. You might be talking about someone who's got control issues. You might be talking about women who don't understand the word. You might be talking about men or women who don't understand it. But we're talking about a disorder. And so I'm glad you're bringing that. Sometimes we will not understand. It's like people don't understand that it is a mental disorder. It's like a mental disorder. It's not a want to. It's not like I can fix it. It's a mental disorder. So I'm so glad that you brought that to light. I'm going to go to a couple of other callers, Gary, but I appreciate you calling in and bringing that to light and letting us know what you think and that you have a Facebook page that people can follow. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Brian, are you there?
Yeah, I just hope one day y'all have a show on true people because I'm too real. I get blocked on a lot of shows because they assume what I'm going to ask to say. And I thank y'all for allowing me to come on. I notice when people demonstrate for getting rid of adults or whatever, because we had a serious time tomorrow. And I hope sometime in this day y'all touch on this vote in Detroit. And I'm telling you, for a person to lose all his stuff in Detroit from business and homes, I'm allowed to say what I got to say. I hate hearing people bash other people and then hear them promote them down the road because they paid for something or an ad or something. So I won't say a name because I start stuff when I say names, but I keep it real. So for these self-promoters, stop it. You bash these people. And then as soon as they pay something, that's what black people got to stop. Then you bash Jenna Strinfrey all this time until she took that little ad out and you pay for whatever it is. Then you shouting that she's the best. Y'all just need to be on your A game tomorrow, you Detroiters, because being in Oakland County, they got an end for you. I told you about the meetings they had against you. And I said that on this show because hopefully the pastors can go into deeper at night. All you pastors, the wives, the husbands, or whatever, they have Detroit. And from what I heard in this last meeting, it's a wrap. Gentrification.
Okay, so are you talking about the voting?
Yeah, man, they fixed the evict. Not only after the voting, whether the proposal be passed or not, they fixed the evict all these people. And it's sad, man. If y'all really pay attention, now they get ready to come to the churches for help. So watch what I'm saying. After Tuesday and then after these evictions, they're scheduled for 30,000 in Detroit. So watch what's fixing to happen, man. All this fixing to change. Gentrification started with me and Donnell Small. Now it's just their turn. See, it happened to me with my business in 4 homes and homes. See, next I'm going to get it because of these houses, so y'all should be in front of saying, I'm one of them that lost everything in Detroit. So I spent money in the house. I don't care what it is. Even if, I don't care if it's a weed wrapper or whatever. I don't care if it's a bottle pop. I don't spend nothing else in the county other than lay my head there because of the AB school district.
Well, Brian, I thank you so much for your comments. We're going to try and get back to the topic, but I appreciate it. I know you're coming out of Detroit. We're doing the talk radio for all over the United States and all over the world, but I appreciate your perspective, and I appreciate that you came on, and we're going to go to another guest. We're going to go to Felicia. Felicia, are you there?
Yes, good afternoon, ladies.
Good. Hi.
Hi. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to try to keep this really brief and to the point. I am a survivor of a narcissistic marriage for 8 years. And I'm going to tell you where I am now and then just go backwards. I am at the place now that I know it is better to be separated or divorced from my husband. However, I've come to a place where I can pray for him and ask for God to deal with him. So I'm saying this because it is so hard, especially for Christian women who are in these situations where you hear this narrative about staying there and etc. But I will tell you that it is a spiritual thing. And I was able to get out of it through a lot of prayer, getting therapy, getting counseling, and really tuning into care and self. So there's so much to my story. I don't even know where to start or end. If you guys have any questions, I can share with you all. But it came down to me knowing that how I got into that situation was because I had trauma from the past that I never dealt with, which I lived with for 38 years, where even though I had it all together on the outside, I was a little girl who was shattered, who was broken, who didn't have a strong self-sense of who she was. And that's how I got into it, because when things started happening and I got out of it, I started to ask, how did I was a professional woman, educated, MBA, all of that. I started to ask, how did this happen to me? Because I wasn't the one saying to, when other women would be in situations, oh my goodness, how would you put up with that? I was thinking it was for women that were not as educated as I am. I thought it was educational thing, a career thing that is only for, maybe people that weren't as educated or a certain income bracket. And so I was shocked to find myself in that situation, and it was all dealing with how I saw myself. So I'll stop right there.
Well, Felicia, I am like, all of them, you should see it. So we're all nodding our head like, yep, I'm special, yep, I'm smart, yep, I'm successful, yep, I'm pretty, yep. But fell right in the hole. And you know what? I found out through my studies, you know that a narcissist can touch your body and tell that you can be a victim of theirs. They can touch your body and they can feel something that comes from you that indicates to them that you could be one of their victims just by touching you. I mean, it's amazing how this disorder can take over in so many parts of our lives to the most amazing people. God, that's why I keep saying to people over and over again, it's a disorder. That no matter how you put on a sheet of paper and how you deal with it, there's no way to deal with understanding it other than it is a disorder. And you guys, as far as I'm concerned, I know I'm going to be very vocal, but I believe that we had a narcissist head of our country and that we saw the repercussions of it, and we see it over and over again. And so when people don't understand what one is, there's so much of those personalities that we saw so up close and personal. I'm going to tell you one of my brief stories. When I was married to my first
who I talk to often about domestic violence, but not about the narcissistic tendencies. But I remember he brought me home an absolutely gorgeous, it must have been our 5th anniversary or something. It was a gorgeous diamond and ruby ring. 2 big diamonds and a ruby in the middle of it. Like, it was gorgeous. Like, would you like this? Like, he's like, happy anniversary. I was like, oh my God, I love it. And then he said, would you like this, or do you want us to get that dining room table that we need? I was like, I don't want the dining room table. Are you kidding me? You just gave me this big old rock and you gonna ask me if I want a dining room table? I want a dining room table. When I tell you, it was an instant uproar of unimaginable proportion. I could not even believe it. It's so much so that I remember it to this day, where we had it, and this has got to be 30 some years later that this has gone on. We can go into stories over and over again, but still at that point, I was trying to figure out what was wrong with me. Over and over and over again, what did I do? What did I say? Am I selfish? Am I supposed to take a dining room table? I didn't even think about the fact that he was abusing me with his words and his all this spewing out of his mouth. I was trying to figure out, am I wrong? Because I don't want a dining room table. Like,
I would take the ring table.
Years later, I still pick a diamond ring over a dining room table. Anyway, but I'm telling you, these are real things, and therapists make a difference. Do I want to lean in on either one of these stories?
Sure, I would love to, because Gloria, you actually sent me an article one day about this and how powerful women are usually end up the victims of these men, and mostly because we're already powerful women. We know how to fix it. We work hard. We want to make sure everything goes right. We want to be the best mothers. We want to be the best wives. So we work really hard at it. So when it's not going well, we're trying to figure out how to fix it. We're trying to figure out how to please the person. How can we make this right? How can I save my marriage? How can I, so we're the ones that are constantly working at it, when the whole time they're sitting back looking at us going, got her. I got her. Right. She's all stressed out now. She's not going anywhere. I'm going to make her feel this way. I'm going to make her feel that way. And one thing about narcissism, they do think that they're smarter than everyone. They do think they are great manipulators. They can make you think that you are the craziest person on the planet. And they have zero empathy. They don't care. They will sit there and watch you cry. I remember I made a Christmas dinner. I got up, I made dinner the way that he liked it. At 5 a.m., I had to change the whole way that I cooked. I couldn't even cook the way that I used to cook. He wanted me to cook like his family cooked. Okay. So I did that. I got up, and we were kind of struggling at the time. He was kind of on and off with jobs. But I had adopted a family, a single mother with 2 children. And I got her some clothes and toys and everything for this family. And we had kids, but I didn't get him an expensive gift. I got him some little things. And he got so mad that I went into the kitchen after we opened up gifts, and he had thrown away my entire Christmas dinner.
No way.
that still hurts me to even talk about, because I thought about, oh my God, all these homeless people out here that have no dinner. And I just made this huge meal, and he was so mad that I didn't get him something that he thought was expensive enough. He threw away my dinner.
He threw away the dinner for everybody?
Everybody. I picked up my kids that I just like left. I went to my family's house. I just remember crying and being in so much pain, and you know, it's just things like that. And then you go back to it again. But, you know, they know who you are. They know, like, he knew that I had daddy issues. He knew that I was insecure. He knew all of that. But he also knew that I was a good woman and that I was going to do whatever I could, you know. So, yeah.
And you know, I'm looking on on one of our Facebook viewers, and Donna said it took half my life to recover, especially when you're a fixer. It took that's a long time, half of your life to get fixed after being in a relationship with a narcissistic person.
Yeah. When you're a fixer, when you're a people pleaser, and just like Gloria said, and even what you said, Deanna, it's like when you meet them, they're charming. And they start sharing their stories. And I know personally, it's like they start sharing their stories, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like they're sharing their story. Oh, wow, they're being vulnerable with me. And then you start telling your story. But what they're really doing is they're literally like just taking that data.
Right.
And then what I learned personally was that the first time you let some stuff fly, you let them get away with something, or you take it on and you're like, okay, you know what, maybe I did misunderstand them. You know what, maybe I did that wrong. Then, just like you said, Deanna, they're like, I got her. And every time for me, got more dramatic, and it got worse, and it was more scenarios of just disrespect. One of my classic narcissists, one of the few, he was a cheater, and he basically first was like, you know, totally lied about it and just said, oh, these women wanted him, etc. But he told me he was going to a potluck, and he asked if I would make macaroni and cheese and greens for this potluck. And I was like, oh, great. When are we going? He's like, well, you can't go because it's only work people. So I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking, you know, do all this stuff for him, make it pretty platter, everything. So a couple weeks later, I'm at my best friend's 40th birthday party. And this woman comes up to me and she says, I hope you know that everybody knows you're a homewrecker. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm in a relationship. We've been together. We're going to get married 3 years, whatever. And she said, well, I was just at a potluck where he made my homegirl macaroni and cheese and greens and was with everybody. And I had made that meal. It wasn't a work potluck. It was at the girl he was telling me I was being insecure about. And like totally lied. And I had all the data, all the information, all the proof, and he still tried to gaslight me, manipulate me, and say that I was crazy. Like, I'm like, there's pictures, but I was crazy. And then you start doubting yourself. You start doubting your judgment in everything. But you're this professional businesswoman, and you're handling things in every other aspect of life. And then you start feeling like, well, why can't I get this relationship stuff together? Maybe it is me. Maybe I work too much. Maybe, you know, whatever. So
right. You guys, I want to read something to you about this. And I want to say over and over and over again that it is a disorder, we are never on this show bashing other people. We are trying to enlighten people about what you might know, what you might see. I can tell by the chat that many people have been faced with this, and people don't know. You know, my whole thing is that people just don't know. And then when you've been in those situations, people don't want to talk about it, especially when you're a strong, smart, capable woman and you got yourself caught up in there. You're too embarrassed to even admit it, listen, to yourself, that you got caught in that situation. And so you definitely don't want people to see, because you just don't understand how you could be so clueless, because you don't understand it is a personality disorder. You don't understand they are, Deanna said manipulative, and it's like to the nth degree. I mean, they got this thing down to a masterful skill. So listen to some of the things that they see about themselves. Number 1, I love myself, and I know you do too. Number 2, I have no need to apologize. Number 3, I have few equals in this world, and so far I have yet to meet one. Number 4, most people don't measure up. Number 5, I appreciate that there are rules and obligations, but those apply mostly to you, because I don't have time or inclination to abide by them. Number 6, I hope you appreciate all that I am and everything that I have achieved for you, because I am wonderful and flawless. I mean, this is what they think. This is what they say. I do wish we could be equals, but we are not and never will be. I may seem arrogant and haughty, and that's okay with me. I just don't want to be seen as being like you. These are people that love you that are saying this to me. I expect you to be loyal to me at all times, no matter what I do. No matter what you do. I will criticize you and expect you to accept it. But if you criticize me, especially publicly, I will come at you with rage. They say they will, and they do it.
They do.
I expect you to be interested in what I've achieved and what I have to say. I am not manipulative. I just like to have things done my way, no matter what or how inconvenient it is to others or how it makes them feel. I expect gratitude at all times, even for the small things I do. I only associate with the best people, and frankly, most of your friends don't measure up. You guys,
they will isolate you from your friends. They will isolate you from your friends too.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I lost a lot of friends. And I used to say, well, if they were really my friends, then they wouldn't have walked away. But some of them just couldn't take it anymore. They couldn't stand to see me in the situation that I was in. But he had something wrong with every single one of my friends. Like every single one of them. I don't like this person because they do this. I don't like her because she dresses funny, or that one's gay. And it's always something. And I like what Lisa said, to always follow your gut. And that's one thing that I think us women need to work on as well, because we know, we feel it, and we are intuitive. God made us that way. So when you feel that bad feeling in your gut and you're like, something's not right, trust me, it's not right. Don't make excuses. Don't say, oh, but he's so cute, and oh, but he has a great job, and he has this and he has that. But how does he make you feel? How does he treat you? No, just follow your gut always.
Hey, Deanna and Andrea, I was thinking too, I was mentoring a young lady, and, she had, children. She wasn't married, and she really was looking for love, and probably, I've been with her for a while. And then one Sunday she just popped up and said, hey, I got married. And I was really surprised because I hadn't met him. I didn't know anything about him. And I was kind of like a mother figure to her because her mother died early. And so she would ask me everything. And I thought it was so curious that I met him for the first time on a Sunday, and my gut just went high. I mean, when I say it was all over the place, and I talked to him, not a whole lot. Long story short, she met him, and within, I would say, a couple of months, they got married. And all hell broke out. I mean, literally, he almost killed her. And so from that, I said, and one of the things that I share all the time is when you're dealing with a narcissistic person, they want you to commit to them sooner than later, because they can only control their behavior for so long. He wanted to hurry up and marry her because he could not continue to treat her the way he was treating her because that narcissistic behavior was trying to come out, and he kind of, and sometimes they know if I show it too soon, they may run away. But if I can just get them, and I said, you know what? I'm not saying that you can't get married, love at first sight. I'm not saying that that doesn't happen. Some people it does, but you just got to be real careful when you got to get married to somebody and you can't tell your family. That's a red flag.
Right.
That happened to me.
Really?
Yep. He was moved into my condo within 3 months. We were married within 6 months. And he was cheating on me before we got married, and I knew it. And I kept saying, no, I kept pushing it off. No, I don't think so. He's like, but I know what I want. I know you're the only one. I know you're the love of my life. Like, I would never go anywhere. I would never do anything to you. I would never, all this stuff that these girls just want me. They keep lying and saying I'm cheating with them. They just love me. They just want me. They just want to be you. Like that's, and I literally got talked into it. And when I tell you, I feel like I was, like, it was like a thief in the night. I always say that. It was like the devil just swooped in, and I just was so blind to it. I did not follow my gut, even though I knew it didn't feel right. But that it happened very quickly, and we didn't tell anyone.
Wow.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about how people should act if they see it. Because we see it in other people's relationships, and sometimes we don't know what to do when we see it. But what advice would you guys give or want to share about that situation? Because they are experts at getting you away from everybody you know, everybody you love. They strip every tradition from you. Everything that you love, they justify it as wrong and bad and ugly. They want you to bend over backwards. I mean, can you talk about what it's like, in terms of what helped you, or a story you might want to share, either one of you?
I agree with you. And I think pointing out about being removed from your friends, your family tradition, notice it's subtle. It's never like, sometimes I think we think it's this so dramatic where they say, I don't want you to see your friends. It's not that way. It's the, I worked late. Why don't we just stay home instead of going to their house? I want to spend time with you. Why don't we just kind of watch a movie at home? Or it's, why don't we, it's okay for us to start our own traditions. We're a new family. Let's do Thanksgiving, together this year, without going to your parents' house. It's those subtle things, and you're like, oh, that's sweet. I'm a sucker for that. He's being so great.
Yeah.
And then it's not. And, I think the hard part is that your friends do see it, but they also see that you are happy and you're elated. And it's funny when you were just sharing about the woman you mentored and you didn't know, the person, I definitely have had friends that have said, I didn't even know you were dating. I didn't even meet that person. And I really think it's important, the whole taking your time. And during that time, if you are a Christian, I'm a Christian, the courting process, I do believe now, should definitely involve the people that know you best. And I used to say, well, I don't want anybody to meet him until I know he's going to be around, because I don't want them to be like, here go another one, right? But part of me thinks that maybe if they do come around early, so that they can see before you get caught up, because once you fall and once you're all in, that's when I feel like it's harder for you to hear your friends. When you've fallen in love and you're all moved in and engaged, if your friend tells you then, that he will say, oh, they're just jealous because they don't want you to have love. Your single girlfriends are telling you this, So maybe if you, after maybe the first dates are group outings, maybe that's what you need to do. As I'm speaking out loud, it's like maybe you should to have people before you fall completely. They are able to look, see, listen, because they know you and they know what you've been through.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's really important. You said about like if we see it happening with one of our friends.
Right.
I mean, I think I'm hypersensitive to it now. I can tell you, I can go out and I can tell what's going on with a couple without them saying a word to each other. I can already tell. So if you have a girlfriend who you think is going through this and her man is narcissistic, or even the other way around, I do know narcissistic women.
Exactly.
And they are scary controlling. Scary.
Right.
They're almost worse.
Right. Right.
But yeah, just, all I can say is encourage your friend to learn to love themselves, to value themselves, to look a little bit deeper and to follow their gut, and to learn about boundaries. Learn about boundaries.
Right.
Boundaries are okay, but the people who don't like boundaries are the people you need to worry about.
Right.
Deanna, let me ask you a question. How long were you in your relationship? And if we suspect that we have or know someone that's in that kind of relationship, and you thought you've had that conversation, but they just don't see it at this time, what is the best way to stay connected to them, even though they're not ready to hear what you're trying to tell them?
Mm-hmm. I was in that relationship for about 8 years. We still have small children together, so I'm still going through, honey.
Right.
But now that I have a lot of peace about it now. So anyone that I know that is in a situation like that, because I do coach women through this, what I do is I will send them like encouraging, uplifting messages every once in a while, like once a week, like, you are a badass girl. You are this, you are that. You are a strong mother. You are a wonderful human being. I love you. Like I will just send them encouraging messages, reminding them of how wonderful they are and that they matter. Because sometimes we forget that we matter. We're here for a reason.
Right. You guys, let's just see if we have one more. Rick, oh, never mind. Okay, he's not there. So what I want to say that's really critical here is that as we talk about we got issues, as we talk about the force of friends, 70% of narcissists are men. That means 30% are women. And so I'm glad you brought that up, because they are here and we know some of them. So you have to keep your eyes open. I mean, I'm so glad that on this 9:10 a.m., the Superstation, we continue to bring you topics for awareness. I cannot believe how much I have learned about so many things I had no idea about until I came and started doing this talk radio show. So this is very exciting for us to be able to lean in. And I think one of the things that we continue to say is women, we need to stand up and stand strong and be girlfriends for each other, because we are better together. I want quickly Andrea and Deanna to tell them where they can follow you guys on social media, because that's important. Deanna, you want to go first?
Oh, okay, Andrea. Sorry, I thought Andrea was going to go. Sure. You can find me under Deanna Michon, which is Michon. That's my middle name, but that's my company name. So I have a YouTube page at Deanna Michon, and I upload a new video every week about self-love and looking for the signs that you need to look for in relationships. Also about broken men. I just posted something last night about broken men. I have a lot of men reaching out to me all the time. So ladies, we do need to help with healing these men. And then my Instagram is Deanna Michon, or you can find me at Michon, Michon _317. And it's Deanna Spence on Facebook.
Awesome. Andrea.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much for this topic. I can't say how important it is. But you can definitely reach me on social media. So on Instagram, it is ASH Antiques and Design. Now, I will be launching YouTube by Friday. It will also have the same branding. It will be ASH Antiques and Design. And on Facebook, I am Andrea Hysmith, HY Smith.
Oh my goodness, you guys, this is so exciting. We're so excited that you guys were here and that you guys were so true and authentic and giving and generous in your stories and generous in letting people know who you are. I want to say congratulations on the survival, you guys, as we as women continue going forward. Welcome to 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. This is We Got Issues, brought to you by the Force of Friendship. Check with us tomorrow, 6 to 7. We're going to be talking about all things Aretha, and it is going to be juicy. Tell your friends to tune in, because we cannot wait to be with you tomorrow at 6 p.m. She's at cheerleading camp. She's in her new office there in Ellicott City, and we're in Detroit and the DMV, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye, you guys.
Ciao, ciao.
Wait. You guys, okay. I'm going to hang up. Okay, wait.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, yes, we got
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
so good. It was.
I know
so
we helped someone today. We helped someone today.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm so glad you guys, and we put it on our Facebook page, but thank you again for stopping whatever you were doing when you get a text at 2:00 in the afternoon, and I'm like, what? I just really appreciate it. And you guys, it was so awesome. So good. So good. It's a topic I want to, we have topics we think of, we want to bring, and you guys really brought it. And not only did you help them through that, you helped them be authentic about their story. I went on my Facebook today and I talked about how sometimes we're afraid to tell our story. So I'm so glad that you guys were here. Facebook, I'm so glad you guys were here with us. Chris, it was awesome. We can't wait to tomorrow.
Yeah, it was such a great show. Thank you, Andrea and Deanna, for sharing your story, because when you have the power to share yours, it really helps other people because they can see themselves in you. And I love that you talked about this. I'm gonna be honest, I really initially thought that narcissistic people hook up with weak-minded women, you know what I'm saying, that were needy, that needed this. And then after reading up, to find out that they like to hook up with powerful women, with women that, have and know who they are. They're not the typical woman that you think, oh, they just did it because they're weak. No, they look for powerful women. And if not for the grace of God, that could be any one of us. So yeah. I appreciate you guys coming on today and telling your truth. It was so powerful. It just goes by too. When the conversation is so good like this, an hour goes by so fast.
I know.
Right.
We're gonna have to do it again, ladies. We gotta be loud.
We gotta be loud. Exactly. We gotta be loud. Thank you guys. I appreciate you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.